Yeah, what's the deal? What's the deal? How you feel? What's the deal? Where you at?
So y'all here? Y'all like inspiration? Y'all like motivation?
Denise Camille?
Y'all like ventilation?
Denise Camille?
Y'all know I gotta make up a few words here and there, but who y'all here with?
Ventilation and Denise Camille.
Under the act. But we not playing no games.
We're not into games. We don't like Sega, PlayStation, or Xbox.
So y'all here with Dilate the Dialogue with Denise Camille.
Dilate the dialogue.
We gotta open up, not them legs, but the minds.
Denise Camille.
Cause I know y'all trying to find y'all strength.
Denise Camille.
Intertwined with the life of me.
Denise Camille.
All right, y'all. Welcome. I am. Greetings, salutations. I give thanks for being here. I give thanks for y'all for listening. I give thanks for being the spirit of courage to finally start what's been brewing within me for quite some time. Y'all here with Denise Camille with Dilate Dialogue, where we here to not what I said, not open up them legs, but open up them minds to thought. Because like we know with sex is 90% what? Mental, 10% physical. So we got to get to the mind. So we got to dilate these pineal glands, these calcified thoughts that we're so busy in the superficial, not in the mental. So yeah, we here today. Today's episode, we're going to go a little, what am I feeling today? Today, I'm grateful, right? So, let's go with today's topic. Why be a liability when you are an asset? Right? Before I go into it, let me just give a little background. I am a mental midwife. I rebirth the mind to rebirth the heart. I'm here to give thanks to being able to breathe this podcast that has been long awaited. And I keep saying long awaited because y'all know how long it's been awaited. Y'all know how long I've actually wanted to just step out and do. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be here, to be able to listen in on my spirit, what my guides have to tell me, and what these topics have to bring up for those that are needing to grow and know. So, when they ask me, who am I? I'm Denise Camille. I'm the goddess of spirits, the maiden to the native. Today's topic, like I said again, is why be a liability when you are already an asset, right? And a lot of these topics that I'm going to address are more on a property level, which is what the westernized thought has us thinking, opposed to the spiritual and African diaspora level, which talks about us as a people. A liability to us is normally something that when we purchase it, it depreciates, right? A liability can be a car. For example, we buy a car off the lot. The minute it drives off, it depreciates. It loses its value. That's what a liability, it's losing its value. It's something that it's not worth what you have to offer, your value. Something or someone, because I'm going to get there, someone that talks about why be around them when they are a liability. And I want to go a little more into that in a little bit, but I want to get these definitions out first. A liability is something that loses value or something that does not have enough value or enough worth to be able to be around you or to think that you are a liability. An asset is something that is a plus. So that's an easy way to look at it. A liability is a minus, an asset is a plus. Yet an asset, we know with having value, an asset could be a house. A house is something that adds value to your investment, adds value to your life. It's property that, let's say, something may have happened and you need funding or you need funds. What do? You can tap into your house and your equity, take out money because that's the value that it's holding because of what it's built with or whatever the appraisals or anything that's going on with that. An asset adds value, right? So us as a people, us being born, we are assets. We are humans, the hue, HUE-MAN. We bring hue, we bring value to life. With us being born, whether, we've lived for a short amount of lifespan or a long amount of lifespan, we have a unique purpose on this earth, in this realm. For those that don't know, we are in different realms. There are different realms. There's the spirit realm, and then there's the physical realm. If you ask me, the spirit realm is way more real than the physical realm. Because with the spirit realm, it is what it is. With the physical realm, you have your anomalies of representatives of energies that are attempting to be assets, but they're really liabilities. And if you want me to go a little more into that, I want to talk about where these assets of yourself can be shunned upon as a liability if you're around the wrong individuals or the wrong energies, right? When we think of sometimes, are our emotions assets or liabilities? So today, we got the topic, why be a liability when you are an asset? So what made me create this quote and this topic was because I had to realize that a lot of times we as people, we hang around liabilities, right? Not realizing we are the asset, yet us as people, we tend to not know our worth. Because like I always say, I wish we were taught in elementary school or in primary school what we are or who we are. We are worth anything that we put our minds to. We deserve the best. We deserve to be treated as such. We deserve to be loved as such. Yet a lot of us were not loved in that way as children. So a lot of us, we felt or we were loved as we were liabilities. Ooh. We were loved like we were a liability to our parents, as if we were an embarrassment, or as if we were an understatement, or as if we were the reason why your life flopped. We were loved as a liability. There are some that were loved as assets, where they were treated as a plus, where genuinely their caretakers made sure that they received all that energy, all that support, all that nurturing, all that love, all that peace, all that communication that family offers us. They grew up as an asset. They grew up knowing that my mom loves me enough because she does X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Dad poured in, aunties and uncles, grandparents, extended families. We were supported because truly the village is the family. And the family can stem from blood or non-related. Yet that liability and that asset behavior or that asset mindset stems from our childhood. And that's something you would hear me talk about a lot in my podcast when we dilate dialogue, because we have to address the root in order to get to the right fruits, right? Y'all with me? So, and I like to get comfortable because I'm Denise Camille. So, understanding that we grew up as liabilities. A lot of us grew up as not, and I like to talk about the negative thoughts first before I address the positive, because people always tell me, oh, you got to see things on the brighter side and the optimistic side, because to me, I'm a solutioner. If there's a problem, let's find a solution. Yeah, let's address those that see the world half empty or the glass half full, because without that, you wouldn't be able to address the ebb and flow or the seesaw thought process, right? So let's jump into this love liability. What does that look like? What does that feel like? So the love liability is where, as children, we progressed through bare minimum. Whether we soared in high school and middle school and elementary school where we did our best and our best may not have been good enough, or we did mediocre and we're like, well, I mean, if all you give me is liability love, what am I going to give you back in return? What am I going to give me back in return? Yeah, we're not even looking at ourselves as an asset because, again, that's that liability love. You're in the thought process of all I know is liability. All I respect is liability. All I deserve is liability. So where does that lead you, knowing that the liabilities of life are only going to get you but so far because you don't know that you deserve greater than what you are? Right? I'm going to hold that thought for y'all. We can have y'all ponder on that. I'm going to just play a little, just some music so you can kind of get that thought process. And I'll be back. Give thanks. Greetings, y'all. We back. Or I should say I'm back. Denise Camille, Dilate Dialogue. This is part 2 to why become a liability when you are an asset, right? And we briefly touched on the liability movement and what the liability love looks like, because as a couples counselor and a hair relationship coach, I always address that there's always a connection, right? The liability where we talk about the lack of, the negative, the bare minimum that a liability offers. Even I can talk about liability with car insurance, right? So liability with car insurance, that's bare minimum. That means if you get into an accident and somebody hits you, what you got? Collision and what's the other one? I don't even remember. Begins with a C. Something in collision. It's right here, but I can't get it out. But either way, I just came back to it. I don't even know what it was. Something in collision. Comprehension and collision. Sorry. Thank y'all for sending those thoughts in my mind. Comprehension and collision. That's bare minimum. You're barely making it work in life. So that's that liability thought process where, think about the car insurance, barely making it to just get you through, right? You're in that survival mode. I can use that other analogy with liability and asset. Liability is in that mindset of survival. You're making it day to day. If that, you're struggling, you just put a couple dollars on your bills, not just paying the whole thing off when you have it. You're just thinking that, what if I don't make it till tomorrow? Yet, what if you make it 100 years from now? Why not be in that asset mindset of thriving, right? Thriving to figure out that, hey, if I'm in this world, if I'm placed here for a purpose, where I need to be, I divinely should be. Whatever my purpose is, where I need to be, I divinely should be, and I will be taken care of because I am in abundance. I am here for a purpose. My asset thought process of life, the positivity that me as an asset brings to others is what I'm here for, right? So we have to understand that we can't always think of ourselves as being less than. We have to always be mindful that we're more than enough. Just like in what Christianity talks about, we're more than conquerors. We're more than that. Yet as an asset, be mindful that you are a plus. You come into an environment as a plus. You come into a relationship as a plus. You add value to those around you. You add value to yourself because you're giving yourself the best that you deserve. Well, even if you don't know you're an asset, if you don't know if you're an asset or liability, offer yourself different things. Offer yourself, let's say you want to go get a massage. You might think, why would I get a massage? I don't need a massage. I work every day. I don't have time. Making time to balance what's beneficial for you, right? And that makes you become an asset to yourself. That way, whoever that you attract that comes along as a complementarian would also be an asset to themselves. So when you come, the only place you can go is up. So you add value to each other as you're adding value to yourself first. Yet sometimes that liability survival mindset is also the place of trauma also the place of healing. So it's having to see what healing looks like if you're unhealed. What toxic relationships have you attracted? Whether it be friendships or romantic relationships, platonic or romantic, or career-wise, corporate. What does that look like? What does a collaborative around you look like? What does your circle look like? It's time, if you haven't done already, analyze. It's time to assess. It's time to analyze where you are, what you're doing in your life, who you're hanging around with, what problems that you think are problems. Because if it's not a blessing, it's a lesson. All right? If it's not a blessing, it's a lesson. Be mindful of that. What problems are you bringing forth, or are you walking into with the strength of others, or not with the strength of others? Just, where's your energy within yourself? Are you a liability or are you an asset? Ask yourself these questions. Self-analysis will help you get these answers, right? So why would you think you would become a liability when you are an asset? Sometimes you probably don't think that you're in an asset environment. This is where it's time to pick up and shift. Change the environment. Change what's around you. What's the one thing you guaranteed in life? Change. If we guarantee change, who is it that has to change? Who's the one that's going to change? You. You. Right? So in changing that and seeing that, hey, I need to change. Some things in my life need to change. I need to do better. I deserve better. I deserve better. And I deserve to have access to all of me. Not to be giving it to somebody else and saying, oh, well, they need my time, or, oh, the children need me first. No, you need you first. Because again, you came into this world how? By yourself. More than likely, you may go out by yourself. So why put others in front of your priority of self? And I'm not saying to be selfish. I'm saying to be selfless. Give of yourself to you first. What is it that you desire and require from yourself? Is it sleep? Is it sunshine? Is it sex? What is it? What is it that you require that can help you, not distract you now, yet can help you grow stronger within yourself when you're able to connect with your inner child and they're saying thank you? What did you miss out on as a child? What is it that your calling hasn't been connected to yet? What part of your mindset is in a liability state opposed to being in an asset state? Have these concerns, have these thoughts. Please DM me your questions, your concerns, anything. If you want me to address or elaborate more on a specific topic of liability over asset. Because again, when I say a liability is a negation, it's a bare minimum. You barely skating under the rug. And an asset is a plus. An asset is a gift to yourself, a gift to your living. Give it now. The power of now. Why not now? Why not do better for yourself now? Why not do better for your family now? Why not invest in yourself? Why not realize, hey, I deserve this? Not on the strength of using, manipulation, gaslighting, narcissistic, nothing. Not on that path of anything. Yet you're giving yourself grace until you figure out, is this the path for me, or am I learning this from someone else? Hopefully I was able to cover, what's needed in addressing an asset over a liability. And even, sometimes we don't realize that our thought processes can get us in this liability format of thinking, woe is me, I'm here, I'm tired, I'm not willing to do better for me because I'm not sure. I can even talk about the asset and liability thought process with delivery. As a traditional midwife, And I say a mental midwife because I know for me, my superpower is the mind. Being able to address, again, everything is 90% mental, 10% physical. When a woman is in labor and about to give birth, her mind is fighting her body. Her mind is telling her, your body's a liability. If this don't work the way we need it to work, we're no longer an asset to anything. A lot of women are banking on the support they receive from their partner or their family when in time of labor and delivery, because they need that support. They need that. Yet the mind is telling the body, we got to fight you because you making us look bad. You acting like you weak and you can't stand up and you feeling like, those feelings are real. Those contractions are real. It's having to realize that the asset is the mind and the body connected together. It's allowing the mind to float and let the body take over. Because the mind fights everything. That subconscious, it's listening and it's like, well, what you gonna do? You said you afraid. And so if you afraid, let us take over. But the body's like, we got this. We know what we got to do. We know where the baby got to come out from. The mind is like, we ain't doing this. We ain't doing this. We gonna handle it our way. We gonna lock up. We gonna tense up. It's not gonna happen. So as the liability and the asset mindset is allowing the mom to understand that letting go of her mind while she's in labor and delivery to allow the baby to come down this thin birth canal to be able to come through, because mom is the vessel to bring this ancestor returning, right? So it's having that liability asset concept. Same thing with midwifery. Same thing with giving birth. Being able to allow the mom to recognize that those emotions that constipate your mind while in labor and delivery, that can really affect a healthy mom, healthy baby schematics when it's time to deliver. Right? So I'll touch on that on another episode. Yet getting back to the liability and assets that we have, that we need to conquer, I should say. And it's a part of our healing. A part of our life, everyone has a healing process. No one person is perfect. Because again, everything that we're doing is based off of our childhood in those toddler years. That 2 through 5, if not younger than 2. Because again, the body remembers. So that childhood era, those liability emotions, those asset emotions, sometimes those asset emotions are those ego emotions as a child. Or it could be vice versa. The emotions of our childhood could be what creates us as liability thought processes, where we think we're losers, or we're sore losers, or we're insecure, or we're not knowing our value. For whatever reason, we don't understand our value. We don't understand our worth. We don't know why we are where we are. We don't understand why life has brought us this far, and we're choosing. Remember this, we're choosing. Once we understand it, and then we make a choice, we make a decision to not go further up in life, we're choosing to stay in a destitute or complacent mindset, we're choosing to stay stagnant, right? We're choosing that at that point. Yet the liability of life is creating this toxic wasteland of the geographic era that does not move. The ignorance, I should say. The levels of ignorance in this time of life, where we are right now, we're at an all-time high of ignorance. Why? Because people are choosing to be liabilities. They're choosing to be ignorant to the fact of their minds are truly a terrible thing to waste, and they're choosing to waste it. You have a lot that would say, I'd rather not know, or know and not do anything about it. So having to understand those thought processes are a true testament to where you are and where you're going to end up. I implore you to please be mindful of these thought processes. Please be mindful of your liabilities when you wake up in the morning. Are you grateful? What are you ungrateful for? What frustrates you? Are you communicating effectively to yourself first? To yourself first. Have you forgiven yourself? And that's a whole nother topic. But right now we're talking about liabilities and assets. What brings you forward? What moves you throughout the day? Is it simple sunshine? Is it rain? Is it anything? You know, I make the joke and I tell my children when it rains, at one point they used to be like, mommy, the rain, the rain. And I'm like, first of all, we chocolate. We don't melt in the rain. Yet they're like, oh, we don't melt in the rain. That's a whole nother boost of confidence and courage to know that can't nothing touch you because your mind told you you're an asset. You're not a liability. You're not a less than on the floor. I refuse. And that speaks with levels of integrity. Your mindset, that liability thinking, that less than, that loser, that low life. And there are some that are choosing that. This is a real life story. Become an asset, truthfully and wholeheartedly to yourself first. Recognize what you deserve first. If you have to take a sabbatical from people and from those who you thought were your friends, you'll see the truth. And if you didn't see it before, your intuition told you, but you wasn't listening because you didn't want to function on your discernment. And I'm speaking for myself at some points in my life, but I had to learn. I had to learn, right? So be mindful. I'm going to say this one last time. Why would you think you're a liability when you are an asset to anywhere and anyone that you go around? You're an asset. You are an asset. I am an asset. And if you don't know what you are, you'll see what you are. Look at your surroundings. Look at your environment. Look at what you attract. All right, y'all. I give thanks. Y'all don't even know how much I'm grateful right now. I give thanks. I'm so in an elated state of mind to be able to come to you guys and address these topics. And like I said before, if you have any questions, reach out. Please feel free. I'll put my number at the bottom on the link. Click the link. Contact me. Send me an email. DM me. Do what you need to do to get to you. All right. All right, y'all. Give thanks.